Hello, everybody. I'm Father Tiano. I'm pastor of St. Paul VI Parish in Hamden, which is a community of believers in Jesus Christ who are united in our commitment to loving service, to worship, evangelize, and give. We welcome all people to join in our vision to be a light in the darkness. And today we continue our wonderful series on saints. And today we're going to talk about St. Francis of Assisi, a real favorite of mine. And I have with me Laura Zambrano. Laura is a wonderful member of our parish family at St. Paul VI Parish. She originally came to us through St. Stephen's and St. Rita's, and eventually part of the whole large parish of St. Paul VI. Laura's been in the past in charge of our RCIA program, but she's always been a faithful secular Franciscan or third order of St. Francis. And so you have a devotion to St. Francis.
I guess I do. Yes, I do.
Tell me something about St. Francis of Assisi that may surprise me.
Okay, because this surprised me because I read a lot. I read a lot about him. I get all the books I can. One thing was that he wasn't always the jolly, happy-go-lucky, laughing and talking to the birds person. He could get angry and he could get frustrated, which he did often toward the end when his order of friars got bigger and bigger and bigger. The other thing that surprised me was the intellectual tradition. He wrote a lot or had friars write for him. And he's a saint of peace. That was very dear to him. And there's a lot of writings that was from an intellectual tradition. It wasn't just the spiritual or just the environmental. It was a lot of the intellectual too. There's so much out there written.
If you embrace St. Francis of Assisi, you're embracing something that's part and parcel of our Catholic tradition, of course. Mm-hmm. But there's parts of St. Francis that people gloss over or people don't center on. I was pastor of St. Francis of Assisi Church in Torrington, in parish in Torrington, and they had a gorgeous stained glass window of St. Francis with the Sultan in Turkey trying to broker peace during the Crusades. And it was a fool's errand, if you will. Mm-hmm. But he took it because he knew that peace was the path to go. He was a radical follower of Christ.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something we forget too. We he's talking to birds, he's talking to animals. He's a radical follower of Christ. Oh. He embraced radical poverty. He embraced a radical poverty that resonates across the centuries. What do you see? 13th century, right?
Yes.
13th century.
13th century, mid-13th century.
And he had a wonderful vision of Christ in the church that in a church
in the San Damiano.
And what was that vision about?
Well, he was and I saw this when I was in Italy myself. He heard the voice of God say, "Francis, go and repair my church." And of course, he took that literally. So he found a church in San Damiano, and he began borrowing, stealing bricks and blocks to rebuild it. But God kept saying to him, "Rebuild my church, Francis, rebuild my church," until he realized, and I'm sorry, it was the San Damiano cross, or the cross he saw, that spoke to him. And that's why that's very famous with him. I saw the original, which was kind of put away in the church. A copy was made by some sisters. But God kept saying that to him from the cross. And finally, Francis understood. He went on to help with construction of other old churches that had fallen into ruin. But he realized that God was calling him at that time in history, because there was of the political situation, that he had to really do it with people and rebuild the church with people and make it more faithful again.
The Pope Innocent had a vision of St. Francis, And you could think of it as an inverted triangle, that the whole church was on the
Right.
shoulders of St. Francis. He was holding up the whole church. That was the Pope's vision.
Yes.
And that's why the order was a new concept, because
Yes.
it was an active order rather than a monastic order.
Right.
They were
right. It was
mendicants.
new.
They went
Yeah.
out, and mendicant meaning they went out and begged for what they needed, but they were active in the world. And Francis really, that's something else he did. He invented modern religious life. So,
Yes.
so you can draw a line from the Franciscans to the Apostles of the Sacred Heart, even though they're not a Franciscan order, because modern religious life, active in the world.
Action, right.
And it's a wonderful thing. There's so much to learn about him.
Really
What would you
is.
suggest if someone wanted to live? Because today there's so much to his life. We're not going to get very far.
It's amazing.
What would you suggest for people to learn more about St. Francis?
Just Google St. Francis, the Third Order, Franciscan Friars, anything with Franciscan in it. You can go on there. We have a national website and a regional website
for the Third Order
Franciscans, and there are a ton of documents and learning tools on those. And then those sites will lead you to others.
Right. We're going to connect you to in our description, I don't know where, somewhere on the screen, you're going to see some formed.org sites that you can go to. I love Chesterton's book on St. Francis. That's one of my favorite books to read. And I try to read that every couple years.
It was really good.
It's just a wonderful, wonderful introduction. We have Franciscans in Connecticut.
Yes.
We have in Middletown,
the
in
sisters.
Kensington, in Winstead. My classmate from seminary is pastor in Winstead. We have, of course, the Franciscan Sisters of the Eucharist.
St. Pius in Middletown.
Right. But the Franciscan Sisters of the Eucharist work with us here in Hamden.
Mm-hmm.
They work as the chaplains with us at Quinnipiac University and at Southern Connecticut State University. So we have lots of Franciscan. Give me a one-sentence description of Franciscan spirituality in your life.
Okay.
Maybe we should have rehearsed that, but we didn't.
In my life, oh wow. I started out wanting to deepen my faith and grow it even more as an older person after retirement. And that's what Francis did. Little by little, I've been like about 8 or 9 years now, professed Franciscan. But it started out, and I'm like, what, questioning, and I don't understand this. It has just grown my faith, and given me someone to be devoted to, a saint, always Jesus and Mary, but another focus in my faith.
Very good. For me, it's the radical poverty. And even though I don't live anywhere near radical poverty, but understanding that everything in life is just straw. Everything in life just goes through our fingers.
I love simplicity.
And just to embrace that.
Mm-hmm.
So learn more about St. Francis. Watch the film on formed.org. That's a tough sentence to say. Watch the film on St. Francis on formed.org. And read the book by Chesterton. That's what I would suggest. I hope you enjoyed our little trip into St. Francis. We just scratched the surface. This is the year of St. Francis. This is a jubilee year of St. Francis. So embrace St. Francis of Assisi, and with his inspiration, let us all be a light in the darkness.